Florida goes up to Knoxville into Tennessee. What I know in Tennessee, not so much as a revenge game because you're coming off a loss against Arkansas, but you got beat by Florida last year, and I think that they want a little bit of revenge. Joe, I'm going to start the conversation off with this. We talked about this on Sunday. I'm going to be a lot more tame today than I was then, I promise you.
Okay.
I don't think Nico has been playing good. I said it on Sunday. I said it again on Monday, and I'm going to say it again as we're filming this. I think that they, as you said, yes, they got to get him better things to do. But, Joe, going back and watching the Arkansas game, the NC State game, and watching things that he's done against even some of the lesser competition, I just think that he is not – the game is moving a little bit too fast for him, man, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to prevent them from beating Florida, though. Like, I still think they can do enough, and I'm going to say why I would pick Tennessee in this one over Florida. I just want to – if there's a chance that Florida is going to stay in this one, it's because that Nico makes bad decisions.
So that's a good point. I don't disagree with you that Nico has taken a slight step back. He's stagnated a little bit. I don't want to rehash the argument that we had that I have personally felt that Heupel, the offense, have been moving a little too quick, and there's an expectation that he is supposed to be able to do more than he can. And I feel like he hasn't been set up. He was not set up to succeed effectively by coaching last week. And we don't need to rehash that right now. If there is a path for Florida to win, it's going to be forcing turnovers. It's going to be getting sacks. I didn't know this. They're 24th in the country in team sacks. I didn't know that they were getting after. They lost Princely Iamaleava. I didn't know that they were one of the most productive sack-getting teams this year. So going up against an offensive line that gave up a ton of pressures to Arkansas that we thought was supposed to be a really stellar offensive line unit, that's where the one maybe tipping point is, where Florida's able to pull out this upset. And then the second thing, Florida's offensive line also has been really underrated and good. And I've been a fan of Austin Barber, who's one of their tackles coming into the year. They're only allowing a sack per game. They're the 17th best offensive line in the country in terms of sacks allowed. With all that being said, though, Blake,
and they face real defensive lines to boot.
Right. And this is the theme that's going to be for this one and for the preview that we're going to do for the Alabama game. It's get right week. It's get right week. You had a bad week last week. You're pissed off. You're taking it out on your opponent. As a fan of a team, the University of Notre Dame, with a head coach who's the king of the get right week, he does it every freaking year, where we've watched them lose a game that they're not supposed to and then turn around and beat Purdue by 60 the way that they did. This is get right week. Any head coach, if you've played on a team before where you have a bad loss, the week of practice is hell because coaches are pissed off and they're motivated. This is that opportunity. Their offense, Florida's offense, looked good against UCF, but this is going to be a tough, difficult matchup for them because of the efficiency that Tennessee is running the football. And I think that they're going to break away in this game. And we're going to be flipping the conversation that we had of everyone freaking out saying, is everything done for Tennessee? I think that we're going to be a little bit more positive after this game.
I just don't think you progress the way that you would say get right for them offensively. I get it's Florida, and Florida let Marcel Reed run all over them. I need to see them progress against a Power 4 opponent. I mean, look, man, you've had multiple turnovers. You had 2 against Oklahoma. You had 2 against NC State. Where you didn't have turnovers last week, you made bad decisions. So, Joe, there comes a part where I agree with actually in reference to when you say that they have the potential to show that they got back right. But there is another hand here where I look that you played multiple Power 4 opponents and you have vastly digressed. So I get what you're saying there, but they got to go out there and run the football ad nauseum, man. They got to take it out of Nico's hands and just get after it. Florida's 101 in the country in run defense. You are a top 10 unit in run offense. Hand the rock off. Go fast, run the ball. Yeah. Go fast, run the ball. And here's the thing. If I'm Josh, I feel like Heupel is throwing some things back or taking some things out of his plate. That's why they haven't been so dynamic. I think there's a reason why they haven't been as dynamic. It's because I don't know if they trust Nico enough. Let him run. I know he's a tall, slender guy. You got to let him run. You know why? Taylon Green's why.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Taylon Green is the reason why. And let me explain that. Mm-hmm. Joe, you had Arkansas that had their back up against the wall last week. And what did it look like early? It looked like Bobby Petrino during the week told Taylon Green, listen, 2 reads, you're out of there. 2 reads and you're out of there. You were too good and too talented. You got to get moving. Joey did. I mean, crucial third down situations where Taylon Green's running. You legitimately have to, if you're Nico, you're that good. You're taking a, Joe, I feel like they are taking away his biggest weapon. I know that he is a slender dude. So was the reigning Heisman Trophy winner a year ago.
Yeah.
Dude, let my man run. The biggest thing in all of this, the biggest disadvantage, Florida has just been so bad at defending the run with Ron Roberts and Austin Armstrong. I think Tennessee might roll this one. They've been so bad defending the run, Joe.
I really like that point that you're having here in Nico is a strong athlete. Like, he's a big, strong kid. And I would actually argue, I mean, he's less slim than Jaden Daniels was. He's not the same athlete as Jaden Daniels because he's otherworldly with how effective he is as a runner. But I feel I find it quite odd that they have not tried to use him more in read option situations. I think that's what you got to do. I think that's how you get a young quarterback to feel more comfortable. I've always been an advocate for that. I'm not saying that you just do straight up design keepers because I think that that's a tiny bit lazy. Read option as much as you can, and it's going to work within this offense. And you've got a back who can produce, and it's only going to make things better for him. Dylan Sampson's been the reason why you've hung in games and you've been dominating other games because he's played so well. Get those 2 guys working on the ground, and then eventually things will open up and Nico will start to feel more confident. That's big key here, similar to what we just talked about with Penn State USC. Bad run defense against a really good rushing offense, and a game, more importantly, where Tennessee is pissed off and upset with the way that they played last week. They're going to bounce back.
Listen, I'm going to Saban something because I heard him say it, but I agree with the point that he made. And I know Tennessee fans, I'm sure with that rivalry with Alabama, hate Nick Saban. Yeah. They asked him about, like, he was talking to Brian Kelly, okay? And he's like, listen, you know why? You know what you did last year that bugged the crap out of me? You ran a triple option with the ability of throwing the football. Zone read, tight end in the flat, squirrel white in the flat, get it moving, right? Like, Joey's got to make 3 decisions, to your point. Give, take, throw. Give, take, throw. All I would tell him all week in some of these crucial early down situations, give, take, throw. What are they giving you? These are the 5 things that there's nothing else that they can do. These are the 5 things that they're going to give you. We're going to work on this all week. You got to get him out in space. But I'm taking Tennessee in this one. I think Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. I think Rocky Top's is gonna roll, but I think they're gonna roll because they're gonna line up and bust somebody in the mouth. And I don't like Florida in this situation. The only thing that I'll say about Florida in this one, Joe, when I look at them, if you cannot convert on third downs offensively, which you have struggled the last couple of games, Oklahoma and against Arkansas, converting on third down, Billy will keep the ball away from you. They will keep the ball away from you and run, punt, run, punt. You gotta get on them early, man. That's how teams beat the dogs. Joe, when Billy Napier stays around in games, what does he do? He holds on to the football. You got to convert on these crucial third down situations.
Yeah.